Hey there, this is my first deck file I'm putting up on YouTube. It's of Neo Nectar Bloom deck, Asha call. So starting off, we'll start off with the grade 0, my starter, Planting Maiden Ozu. It is a great unit, particularly in the early game when you need to draw that card. It can make or break your hand if you don't have the grades or the units you want during your first stride. Next up is 4 copies of Monkey Pod Dragon. This is a great draw trigger. I run 6 draws. Along with this soul charges, if need be, giving a unit 3k, which can help with resource management. As well as that, I run 2 copies of Red Poppy Musketeer Marionetta, just to make sure I've got those 6 draws. Next up is the criticals. We have 2 Marigold Musketeer Rachel. A fantastic unit by all stretches. It counts as a normal unit and makes it easy to put back into the deck with recycling skills. After that, we have 4 copies of Flower Garden Maiden Milas. Milas is the Asha crit trigger and obviously helps out with soul charge, drawing, and power as well for the Vanguard, as the deck's main power source is around the rear guards, really. Next up is Ethereum Musketeer Nicola. Nicola is a fantastic card. Obviously, being able to help out after you've G-guarded, if you've got 2 heals, bind them, counter charge, soul charge, that's a huge help in the late game when you need those extra resources. Or if you're resource heavy like me, it obviously makes a huge difference. Just give you a close-up look of Nicola. Next up is my grade 1s. Now, my controversial MVP is Pure Maiden Katrina. This unit is fantastic at 4. I use it for early push on first stride, and with the recycle abilities of a lot of the cards in the deck, it makes it easy for me to use it at full power more than just on one stride. Prospective Maiden Diane is great against rush decks. If you're able to get enough of them onto the board and get them back in the hand, they can help you with the defense. As well as that, they put together good numbers and resist is great against both Narukami and Kagero. Next up is Valkyrie of Reclamation Padme. I run 3 Strad Fodders. As I run 3 types of Ushers, it's easy for me to search out with this, and it also helps me choose which Usher I want to run. My grade 2 lineup, my MVP, Thuria. It can combo well with Diane, Katrina, Kyria, and even Shah. It's a great unit. While I know this is a Bloom deck, this unit just ties in most of my grade 2s and 1s together. Next up is Shah. This unit's really great for boosting, and as well as that, it's great for calling other units when you're short on those rear guards or abilities to call other units. Keep in mind it can only call the open rear guards. Next up is Collective Bloom Maiden Kira. A wonderful unit with the ability not only to resist, which is great against Kagero, Narukami, and obviously Link Joker, but also it hits for good numbers, which can come in handy with some of the strides that I run. Next up is my grade 3 lineup. Starting it off is Ranunculus, Flower Maiden, Asha. There's something about this unit. In all my zoo decks, I run at least 1 to 2 copies of the original grade 3s. Next up is Ranunculus Phantasmic Blue, Asha. This unit is amazing for recycling as well as getting the units early on the build, comboed with Selfina or even Ranunculus. Even Ranunculus Asha, it helps. Ranunculus of Searing Heart Asha is a great second setup. Another grade 3, but these 2 together are just fantastic to use in the deck. Next up is my G-Zone. Starting things off is my 2 Flower Princess of 4 Seasons, Velhamine. These units allow you to provide pressure, and after GB4 that critical on the front row to 3 to 4 attacks. That's notwithstanding any triggers to the Vanguard. It makes a huge difference and applies a lot of pressure. It also combos great with Dream Spinning Ranunculus Asha, flipping them up. I do run 3 of these. You can also start off with Dream Spinning Ranunculus Asha and then go into Flower Princess of 4 Seasons, Velhamina if you're comfortable. And when you've got 2 Ashas face up, Ranunculus and Glorious Bloom Asha to flip up the 3rd, can set your field and everything up with a huge power boost. Next up is Selfina. I rely on Selfina for the critical skill, which really does come in handy, and also being able to create a full field is just one of the greatest things about this card. Inverno is fantastic for recycling units. If the game's not going well and after you first strat and you've got a lot of units in your drop zone so that you need to get back to the deck, this is the card to use to do it. I personally find this card hard to use, but every time I've needed it, it's definitely come in handy. Next up is Zereth Dragon of Death Guard and Zealot. This is a no-brainer. I love Zereth Dragons. They're my favourite cards by far, and I run one every deck I run strides with. I've even won a few games with it because I've managed to just see my opponent's got no PGs in hand, and I've just gone for it. My G-Guards are quite situational. I have Sacred Tree Dragon, Rainbow Cycle Dragon. A fantastic unit for early game. If you've got too many of those normal units, you need to get back into the deck. Bond Protector, Musketeer, Ontaro, and Marlena are both really high guard values. They're fantastic working in conjunction in each other against a Vanguard eccentric deck. And last but not least, Verna is fantastic for building up if you've got 4 of the same or even 2 of the same cards. So against retired decks that only leave you with 2 cards on the field, if that, Verna's a really big help there. Anyways guys, that is my deck list for Neo Nectar. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I do hope to be putting up more of the deck lists in the future. Have a good one.